Just a gym. Just a gym. Topic being trust in all situations. Friends, family, business, relationships, sports, all that, right? Funny thing about trust, we all know the cliche. Takes a long time to build and a split second to lose, right? If you got a situation that has had longevity or some time, right? Friendship, family, relationship, a job, even your relationships at your job, you might get that coworker that go and, tell you then took the extra 15 on your 30 and you know what I'm saying? Now, you ain't rocking with them niggas. You don't want to do your shift with them niggas no more because they ratting. You know what I'm saying? You might have that family member that, you looked out for a few times and then you try to get your lookout back and it wasn't popping. Can't fuck with them niggas no more. You know what I'm saying? You might have a relationship where it's like, you know what I'm saying, whatever reason, you do something, she do something, he do something, you know what I'm saying? And then, the trust factor is low, so the next small thing that come up is big and niggas go off. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you can't fuck with that nigga no more, can't fuck with that shorty no more. You know what I'm saying? Trust. It is the most touted substance we could find outside of love, right? Person to person, situation to situation. No matter what, everybody want to be loved the right way, and nobody wants their trust broken at any time, right? It's hard to build up. You got to really love a motherfucker to sit there and consider to rebuild that trust because it takes time. And once you lose some trust, it never really goes back to 100. It could get close as possible, but it'll never go back to 100. So the funny thing about trust is sometimes you have to stick to your guns and be who you are. If you a cool motherfucker, you a loving motherfucker, and you only know one way to do it, you got to know that your person, your human self is going to work that way regardless. The more you try to put constraints around it and say, oh, I'm only going to trust that motherfucker this much. I'm only going to trust this person that much. And it's not really you, you're going to be forcing it. You're going to be forcing it, and it's not going to be genuine. You got to be who you are. You can't help but who you are. You can't help the person you are. If you're a loving motherfucker, if you're a giving motherfucker, if you're a trusting person, right? Just don't be a dummy in your approach. A lot of times, too, you don't give we as people, don't give amount of time for retribution. Sometimes people do just fuck up. Ain't nobody on God's green earth perfect. So it might be some situations where some trust factors get broken. If the love is real and it's worth it, reset and figure out which means you can trust in so you don't get disappointed and so that person doesn't fall short of what your expectation is. One thing you never want to do is, because it may be a taint on that person's trust record, is you never want to jump to conclusions, even if your trust ain't 100%. Because what you do is, to that person who's trying to earn your trust back, you may deter them or turn them further away from even trying to get that back. They may not care. They may go further to even cross that trust at that point because you haven't allowed them time for retribution, depending on what it is now. It's all circumstantial. A nigga just do some crazy shit and super cross you, ain't no coming back from certain shit. I dig that, right? But if it's something that can be worked out, if it's something minuscule in the long run, something small, and you want to give that arm out, you want to extend that olive branch again, then do that. Remember who you are, but remember what you expect. And if something goes awry, don't jump to conclusions. Because just because that person made one mistake or fucked up before, doesn't mean that that's their intent to, or that's what they were doing. Don't be shy to ask the question, and make sure you listen. You'll know if it's bullshit when you listen, but you gotta listen first. If you ain't sure, take your time and figure it out. But do not discount the conversation. And yes, a lot of times we find out something, oh, nah, nigga, I don't need no explanation. I got receipts. You may have those, but you may not know how those things came about. You may not know the background out there. That story or that background may change your perspective on those things, on those receipts that you think you got. And if you worried about trust, but you violating somebody else's trust, going behind their back, backdooring, going through shit, saying shit, asking around, then you can't expect shit but disloyalty to come your way. You violating to find out what you need to find out in the first place, instead of possibly asking the question. If you felt strongly enough to pry or ask or go through shit, and you fuck with that person, you should feel just as strong enough to ask that person to their face. Because apparently those ain't feelings you just had. You've been having them. So it propels you to go through some shit or find out some shit or use an avenue to gather information that may not be trustworthy in the first place. See the paradox right there? You're trying to figure out if somebody trustworthy by doing some untrustworthy shit. It don't make sense. All in all, stay clicking, stay clacking, stay dangerous, be good, beautiful people. Pablo, the lowdown.